everyone, Cyber here. Apple just released Watch OS 5.1.2, and this has the new feature ECG, which can detect abnormalities in your heart. It's been tested by Apple, and it has been approved by the FDA, but please note and disclaimer that this does not take the place of a real medical ECG or EKG, but it can give you some indications of if there are specific noticeable items which could be a problem for your heart, which you would want to follow up with your doctor with for more in-depth testing. But let's go ahead and talk about this. First off, if you're running iOS beta and you go to open the health app on your iPhone and you're not getting a prompt to set up ECG, make sure you remove the beta profile from your phone for iOS. Once you're done removing the profile, restart your phone and then check again for an update, and the new iOS version will be available, which comes in around 2.7 gig. Go ahead and update from there, and once that update is done, go to the health app, where you will be prompted to set up the ECG function. If you're currently running the latest iOS beta version and you go into the health app and you are not seeing the ECG setup prompt, that is because you need to uninstall your iOS beta profile. And by doing that, you need to go into Settings, go to General, go down to Profiles and Device Management, and remove the iOS beta profile. Once that is done, reboot your phone. Once it's done rebooting, go back in the settings, go to General, Software Update, and you will see a new version of iOS 12.1.1, which will download. So once you get that installed, boot your phone back up, and we'll show you where to go from there. So in your Apple Watch, go to the apps. Once you update your Watch OS version, and you'll notice a new icon in your apps, and it looks like this right here. Go ahead and click on this, and it's going to say to set up ECG, open the health app on your iPhone. And before I updated my iOS version, I was not getting prompted in the health app to set up ECG. So I had to remove the beta profile for iOS, and from there reinstalled the new version of iOS 12.1.1. And now we'll go and take a look at that. So I just finished upgrading my phone to iOS 12.1.1. Now I'm going to go to the health app, and voila, there is setup ECG. So we're going to go ahead and set this up. And I'll put in my date of birth. I don't care if you see it. Doesn't matter to me one way or the other. So there we go. And this is essentially what it works. The ECG records an electrocardiogram, also called ECG or EKG, which represents the electrical pulses that make your heart beat. The app checks these pulses to get your heart rate and see if the upper and lower chambers of your heart are in rhythm. If they are out of rhythm, that is atrial fibrillation. So it's gonna show you a few items here about different patterns in your heart. Go to continue, and yes, we're gonna continue. And take your first ECG. We're gonna skip this here, and I will show you. And done. Okay. So now I will show you how to do an ECG off your Apple Watch. So we're going back to the Apple Watch. Go to your apps. Go to this item right here, which is for the ECG. To take an accurate ECG, your Apple Watch needs to be snugged on the wrist, selected in settings. Currently, that's your left wrist. So I'm going to click OK. This little thing's going to show up here. Now it says hold your finger on the crown. So we're going to make sure it's nice and snug on there. And we're going to hold it for 30 seconds. So I got my result, sinus rhythm. The it says this ECG does not show signs of atrial fibrillation. And it says Apple Watch cannot check for signs of a heart attack. If you believe you are having a medical emergency, call emergency services or at 911. You can also add sections in here like how are you feeling symptom-wise, etc., which can play into adding documentation to your health app, which you can then send off to your doctors if needed. So we'll click done on there. Close this out, and I'll show you the next part. So I just got done doing my ECG on my Apple Watch, and within the health app, it'll show you all types of information here. Of course, I only did one ECG off the Apple Watch. And once you do these over time, you can click on this and you can actually export this to send to your doctors, which then if they see any possible items, they can then do their own ECG or EKG at your hospital or your doctor office. Well, that concludes the overview of the ECG review on the Apple Watch, which was just released today. If there's any questions that you may have regarding health issues or any potential heart issues, remember, don't rely on a watch. Go to your doctor. The watch is just a tool, but for real treatment, get to a medical center immediately if there is any signs or potential symptoms of a heart issue. With that being said, thanks for tuning in. Feel free to like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you later. Cyber out.